Alright, enough time has passed. Zack Snyder and whatever the DCU was turning into has ended. And no matter how much we fight on this app or any other more unhinged app out there, they will never return. At least that's my prayer every day. Because when I sit down and think about how DC took two of the most iconic characters in comic book history, what the hell am I saying, in all of fiction into one movie and completely massacre everything these characters are, I suddenly feel like shedding tears. But suddenly, I don't. Because with James Gunn's reboot of the DC universe and his new Superman actually being not just a great movie, but one of the greatest Superman movies of all time, I just can't help but crave for one thing, one important thing, one spectacular, life-changing thing to happen. A Batman and Superman movie, a DC world's finest in live action. And I for one think that this will be the greatest movie in history, and I'll tell you why. James Gunn's Superman did something to people. It showed the world finally who Superman is, and what's surprising is that Gunn didn't have to change a damn thing. All he did was take what Superman has always been in the comics and translate that to live action. But even with all this, there's one burning question on everyone's mind. What's next? And yes, sure, everyone knows what's next. We have Supergirl coming, Green Lantern, Clayface, and many more. Are we excited for it? Yes we are. Are we satisfied? No, we're not. At least I am not. Because one important piece is missing in this new DC universe, and that is Batman. And yes, I know there is a movie coming out sometime in the future. There are plans for him and all that. Yes, I get that. But the entire idea is to see this version of Superman interact with the edge and cynicism of Batman. It is literally the most exciting thing ever. A movie that takes the best and worst traits of these characters, scrubs them together and creates something profoundly amazing. A movie that complements and actually utilizes the values of these two iconic characters in a way that it feels earned, not forced. But wait, didn't the DCU try doing this? Well, yeah, they did actually, but it was more or less two characters having a clash of ideals and more of two extremely depressed men trying to out-aura the other, and only settle who is a better aura farmer by throwing hands. Now, jokes aside, Snyder had a profound vision, and if this was to be any other kind of movie, this would have worked wonderfully for it. But for a Superman and Batman movie, not so much. Superman and Batman are certainly characters that have gone through so many changes over the years, especially in their comic books, but no matter what era, they still try to distill the core values of these characters into them. You don't need special lenses to know that Snyder wanted to reinvent all these ideals, telling the story he wanted by neglecting what makes this character special, by making Superman much more stoic, making Batman fucking kill people. Now, don't get me wrong, Batman and Superman duking it out sounds really exciting and intriguing, but something like this can't just be thrown at the face of the audience. It has to be layered out and explained to arrive at a reasonable, satisfactory conclusion. A conclusion to the reason these characters have to fight. We all know Batman v Superman was a mess, that's for sure. There was too much going on at once that it felt more like various movie ideas were stuffed into one movie, which made it less of a movie and more of a setup machine. So that, my friends, is why I'm excited for what James Gunn's new DCU has to offer. Like him or not, Gunn really does understand characters. The difference between Gunn and Snyder is that one actually likes comic books and the characters, while the other doesn't really like comic books that much. And Gunn, loving comic book characters and actually trying to understand these characters in their comics, is able to create phenomenal movies out of them. And that's why Superman works so well, using largely what the character is with a bit of his own flavor to elevate the character, not to change him. This creates a Superman that is grounded and easy to understand, one that truly embraces the idea of goodness and optimism, not by being naive, but by being so strong he's gentle. And that works well. That quickly establishes this Superman. So when I think of Batman coming into this picture, I think of all the ways this could create something truly special. Not only would it fix the absolute disaster we witnessed from Batman v Superman, but it would establish a new narrative for these two characters. This already is reminding me of what the MCU did with Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, two characters polar opposites when it comes to how things are done. They are fought many times, but not just for spectacle and entertainment, but from a genuine clash in their ideals. Things like this just makes a Batman and Superman team-up movie more exciting, cause like it or not, they started it first. They were an already established duo right from the onset. Because imagine the possibilities, a Batman who isn't just a grumpy loner but someone who's been through it, who has scars, wisdom, a mentor-like presence, not to overshadow Superman but to challenge him, not to break him but to balance him. Superman seeing a human with no powers actually making a difference, and Batman witnessing a being with godlike powers being more gentle and human than humans themselves, where Batman's cynicism rubs against Superman's hope, and what comes out isn't destruction but understanding and growth, brotherhood. We need a grounded story where the stakes are personal and more ideological. Force these two characters to face each other's flaws and strength. And look, I love Robert Pattinson's Batman, I really do. He fits perfectly in that noir, rainy, broken world, but maybe this new DCU needs someone else, someone a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned, a Batman who's seen too much but hasn't lost everything. Not just to brood but to grow to each other, to be challenged. Because this kind of partnership, it has to feel earned, not forced, not just spectacle but something that can carry emotional weight and still leave us grinning. That's the kind of movie I want. And if Gunn's new DCU is truly about depth, character and storytelling, not just big fights and darker tones, then this movie has to happen. It sets the tone, it builds the emotional foundation, and it gives this universe something it desperately needs. Or so. Now tell me, do you want a new Batman for this universe, or should Robert Pattinson crossover? Or who do you think would be a perfect villain if there's ever a world's finest movie? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video in any way, hit that like buttons, maybe subscribe and help this channel grow. I've got more on the way, so thanks for watching, thanks for your attention, and until the next one, I'm out.